Joining me now on set, Eugene Daniels, White House correspondent and playbook co-author at Politico. Also an NBC News political analyst. Teresa Kumar, president and CEO of Voto Latino. Also an NBC News contributor. And Jim Geraghty, senior political correspondent for National Review. And he's a contributing columnist at our friends over at the Washington Post. I want to start things off here, Eugene, because Scott, in some ways, obviously, a unique biography. And he's leaning into it not in the way you'd necessarily assume. Let me play this portion of his video. Okay, here's what he says in the video. I thought we did cut this. They're promoting victimhood instead of personal responsibility. Apparently we have it. Let's go.
They're promoting victimhood instead of personal responsibility, and they're indoctrinating our children to believe we live in an evil country. And all too often, when they get called out for their failures, they weaponize race to divide us, to hold on to their power. When I fought back against their liberal agenda, they called me a prop, a token, because I disrupt their narrative. I threaten their control. They know the truth of my life disproves their lies.
Eugene, it was this portion of his video I thought, okay, this is his message, and it's a primary voter message. Nominate me, I control the left in a way that no other nominee can.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that you hear from people of color who are Republicans often, right? And when I talk to Republicans who saw this video, but also he did something very similar when he was the counterpoint to Biden's State of the Union address a couple of years ago, right? Where he talked about the left calling him an Uncle Tom and that you can't talk about race with me, I'm black. That happens with people of color who are Republicans all the time. And for Republicans,
it resonates to a white audience, doesn't it?
Exactly, because it makes them feel like, see, I can't be racist. This guy, Tim Scott, said I'm not, right? And that is something that Republican strategists I've been talking to have said are going to be a huge part of both him. There's Vivek, but there's also Nikki Haley, who is talking about this similarly.
Is it enough, Jim? What else does he need to combine with that? Like, it feels like, okay, it gets you in the room.
There's a lot to like about Tim Scott, but it's a very weird moment for a guy like him with that persona, the happy warrior, to be running for the nomination of a Republican Party that is angry, that is very upset about the state of the country. They're upset about immigration. They're upset about the state of the economy, inflation. They don't like all the money going over to Ukraine. This is a very frustrated, dark, dour, seething, base of the party.
It's a good observation.
And so it's like, I've never been cheerier, our future's brighter, but also things have never been worse.
No, it was odd to me. Teresa, I just look at it and I'm like, you know what's funny about Tim Scott, he's the president of the Senate dining room.
Yep.
Like, every Senate Republican I talk, Tim Scott, please make it Tim. Okay, this is your nominee, I get it. Good luck. I mean, please, they're like almost begging voters to pick Tim Scott here. I don't think he's leading with his best self.
I don't think...
but I understand why he's doing what he's doing.
Right, but I actually think it's doubling down on what Eugene is saying. It's basically trying to pacify a group of Republicans that are saying, I'm not that racist, and the other part saying, come on over, people of color, the water's warm. And I say this because what he talks about specifically in a lot of focus groups, what we're saying is that education is an untested issue that the Democrats have to address. We're coming out of a 2-year pandemic where moms, specifically moms of color, are finally recognizing that their kids are not up to level when it comes to reading and reading and math. And they're like, well, maybe we need to have this conversation. And that is one of the reasons why you talk about crime. Crime, when it comes to places like even California and New York City, everybody's talking about it when I go on these, listening tours, so to speak. And so I think that what he led with is trying to siphon off some communities of color in different ways. And he's more trying to be used by the Republicans. But it's a strategy among the Republicans to bring more people. Is it going to work? He doesn't motivate. He doesn't have a base. And when it comes to taking out primary voters, he's not going to take out a primary voter to go vote for him.
I do. That's the thing I have. I understand the idea. Like I said, he strikes me, this feels like John Glenn, Bill Bradley, where the idea, you're like, the guy who orbited the moon, the Earth, of course you make him president. And he's from Ohio. You're like, oh my gosh. And then it didn't work. He doesn't, the thing he's best known for is not something that's going to sell to any Republican primary voter.
No, not at all. And the fact that he's not talking about it, he knows that. And it also failed, right? So it's not really something you want to lead with because it actually...
And he won't take on Trump. And I guess it comes back to this, Jim. How do you... The Ric Flair question. How do how do you be the man without beating the man?
Yeah, no, it has been frightening and a little unnerving for those of us who are not fans of Donald Trump to see Ron DeSantis hold back. He's not running yet. He's still handling stuff in the Florida State Legislature. Nikki Haley, not particularly interested in taking shots.
She took a shot on the memo. What did you make of the memo?
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Duck, that memo's coming for you. No. When you get up,
it's a strongly worded memo.
Maybe some of it will happen when they're on a debate stage, and they turn to you and say, "You're a maniac. You lost the race. Your time is over." Like, maybe it'll happen, but I'm not. So far, we're not seeing it. And I don't think Asa Hutchinson is going to be the guy who's going to come out and bloody Trump's nose.
Ironically, the only place it can happen is on the debate stage. I actually agree that actually, as much as people want to see it on the stump. Now, people want to see you take Trump on when Trump's on the stage.
Well, you want to see, more than anything is taking them on, but his reaction to it, and that's what they're going to have to figure out. Is like, how do you actually get him off his game where he is feeling disrespected, he is being dressed down, and that is going to have to be, I believe, someone that he thinks is good looking and a little smarter than him.
Let me move to the political convention decision. I kind of think it doesn't matter. That I feel like the political convention that went away. Yeah. Like, we just learned, there's a better way to do it, and why the city doesn't matter. But let me ask this: did the Democratic Party really let a couple of the missing union hotels in Atlanta decide which city gets this convention? Because if the party wants to grow itself, and you do believe a convention serves that purpose, it actually makes more sense to put it in Atlanta and Chicago. And the only reason I think they didn't pick Atlanta was due to the number of union hotels.
No, that's right. One of the things that people kept saying outside of just that, it's just harder to do a big event in Atlanta. Like, basically the hotels, so it was like a lot of logistical.
It was too, the hotels aren't close enough together.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
so like a lot of logistical,
yeah.
complaints. But I think you're right. The location doesn't matter as much. The DNC, everyone I talked to while this decision was being made was saying, like, it doesn't actually matter where you do it, right? If you go to Georgia, are you all of a sudden going to have voters who say, you know what, you came to my state, so I'm going to vote for Joe Biden? That's not going to happen. President Biden doesn't have any kind of primary, so none of that matters. None of the location matters at this point.
Well, the only way that I think that actually Chicago does make sense, though, is the media market that it surrounds. Right. Because it bleeds into Wisconsin and the other states that are closer.
Event, though.
No, but it bleeds in a different way when you're leading up to it. And I share with you because
I've heard this about Denver in 08.
No, yeah.
I mean, it mattered in Denver in 08.
Did you read my mind? I was about to use Denver in 08.
But that is, I think it's an exception that sort of, that was a first. It was the first time we'd gone out west that wasn't California. Yeah, so that was an interesting thing.
Yeah, no, but it was a drumming up of what is happening. And I think that there's going to be a contrast because if you think about it, Wisconsin, the Republicans lost that by like 20,000, 30,000 votes. It was very minimal. And that's why they're claiming to go there. In Chicago, yes, they won Illinois by over 1 million, but it's the surrounding media market that actually allows them to bleed into the other spaces that
but the
Atlanta
Republicans
would not allow that.
preferred Nashville. They're only in Milwaukee because the Nashville said no.
It's a little curious to not pick an absolutely totally safe state, but you're right. It's neighborhood.
No, it is a done deal now. It's going to be Milwaukee.
What really resolved this was J.B. Pritzker coming around and saying, "How much money? You're going to run out of money? Here's some money. Here's the petty cash drawer."
You're 100% right.
And Biden doesn't have to make a lot of calls.
Correct.
But making
these things are horrible. All the rules they've put into place of who can give money. Right,
you know,
which you're all aware of.
J.B. Pritzker, what's really interesting about that is that there have been rumors that he wants to run for president. So is he preparing his coffers for 2028? That could be the strategy.
J.B. Pritzker or J.B. Fixer? J.B. Fixer of the convention. Anyway, Eugene, Maria, Teresa, and Jim, thank you all. After the break, I have a little data download for you. The Biden administration just unveiled an extremely ambitious proposal to rev up this country's move towards electric cars. The auto industry and the biggest auto union, the United Auto Workers, they're trying to both pump the brakes on this one. You're watching Meet the Press now.
The day's biggest political stories with trusted insight and expert analysis. A daily look at the politics behind the headlines. Meet the Press Now, streaming weekdays at 4 p.m. on NBC News Now.
We're back now from Las Vegas,
Seattle,
from Guatemala City,
from Wilmington.
I was in space in Texas,
From Normandy,
from
France.
Surfside, Florida. Thank you for watching, everyone.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.